much, everybody, for taking time out today for M&I University. M&IU is online learning led by industry professionals to help you stay ahead in the manufacturing world. Our courses cover sales, marketing, supply chain, emerging trends, and so much more. Join us live or access the expert content at your convenience on university.mni.net. My name is Katie. I'm a lead gen strategist, data junkie, and brand ambassador at M&I. With over 20 years of lead gen experience, I'm super excited for today's session. M&I, otherwise known as Manufacturers News, is America's oldest and largest compiler of industrial data. We connect buyers and sellers through our directories, IndustryNet, and Industry Select. Before we start talking about lead gen strategies with my friend Dave Meyer, BusyWeb, I just have a few requests. If you have questions or comments during the presentation, please put them into the chat box for Dave and I. The session is being recorded and you will be able to view it under archived courses on university.mni.net. I'll also send an email out to you later. Thank you so much, Dave, for taking on another informative session for M&I University. I love working with you. So please go ahead and introduce yourself and take it away.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Katie, and thanks for everybody for joining and those watching at home in the recording. Good to see you, and I'll have all of my contact info through the slides, just kind of scattered in if you want to get a hold of us for anything. So super excited to talk today about 16 lead gen strategies that you've never heard of to generate results. My company, BusyWeb, does a ton of online learning and content generation for manufacturing businesses in particular, and industrial businesses, but also any B2B services that work specifically from one business to another business to connect up, which usually revolves around generating a lot of trust. So for those trust-based marketing programs, that's one of the things that we like doing most. We are connected with HubSpot. And so if you've heard of HubSpot, it's a CRM system that lets you do marketing, update your website, do advertising, do email, and also, of course, all of the CRM and follow-up and automation to help you get the most out of every marketing dollar you spend. So we're going to talk through a number of things today, but just that's my background. We're based out of Minneapolis, been around since '99, so 25 years now I've been doing this. And we have a team of 25 based primarily in the Midwest. So super excited to be here with you. And of course, if you need to get a hold of me, you'll have that contact info shortly. So I want to talk through a few simple core concepts that are going to help inform all of these connections and all of the things that we're going to be talking about with these lead gen strategies, right? So as we look at the buyer's journey, what we're really talking about is the phases that people go through from just being strangers that have no idea who you are, all the way down to the folks that are promoters that are actually actively cheerleading and sending you referrals and things. And the second half, the customers and promoters, tends to be where people forget about their contacts. You'd think that the people that are already paying you money would be at the absolute top of your mind. But if you think about what a traditional buyer's journey funnel looks like, you're kind of generating as much traffic and input as humanly possible. And then once they become a customer, they're somebody else's problem. That's the delivery team's problem, right? We can't forget those people, though, because those are often the folks that are going to certainly do more with us if they like what we do, or refer us on as promoters to keep growing our business. And it is 10 times easier to originate a new sale with someone who knows you or who's been referred to you than it is from people that are just Googling because they're trying to find a solution and your name pops up. So as we look at this, we're trying to move from attracting our customers to converting them into leads, and then closing those deals into customers, and then, of course, delighting our customers so that they keep coming back for more, they do more with us, and they refer us for more business. You can also think of this as kind of like a flywheel. So in a flywheel, which us in manufacturing should know quite a bit about, It was created by James Watt in the 1800s. This is the thing that really made the Industrial Revolution possible. And it's simply the act of a spinning wheel that captures force and momentum and helps move things forward. So in marketing, it's actually kind of an interesting way to look at your business because most times we focus on the little orange spot in the upper right, the attract phase of the flywheel. And so marketing is all about attracting, getting as many eyeballs as possible, showing up in search engine results, connecting, and getting people to do something. But that's also for many people, especially in manufacturing, where we stop. And so if you don't take time to continue to connect with those people by engaging them at the bottom of that flywheel and then delighting them, each of those should feed the next, right? So if you're attracting customers, the next thing you want to do with those people once you've won their attention is to engage them in conversation, to connect with them, to deepen that relationship. When they become a customer, you're going to want to keep doing all of those wonderful things to delight them so that they refer business and or do more business with you, which then leads to a virtuous circle of getting more business. So that's what we're talking through. And that's just kind of core concepts to everything that I'm going to talk about for the rest of today. So that leads to the attract phase of our flywheel. So really how to grab the attention of our audience. Again, this is where most marketing is very clear, and people just get that when you think of marketing, you're thinking of the attract phase inside of that flywheel. There's a number of tools that I want to talk through inside of the attract phase. Of course, everything that you do in lead generation should land in a home. And so if you're collecting things via a form on your website that goes to somebody who may or may not remember to check it once or twice a week or sometimes every 6 months, you really need to think about upgrading your system into a full-on CRM or customer relationship management tool. There's lots of them out there. There's, Salesforce is probably the most well-known. They have arenas that they've named for themselves, right? So that's very, very popular. The tool that we use for our CRM is called HubSpot. And the HubSpot CRM actually starts out free. So if you just go to HubSpot.com, you can set up your own free HubSpot CRM. And that includes a number of things. You can send emails, you can create a website page, and you can even do advertising programs all inside of the free part of the CRM. And then what you pay for in the upgrades are the automations and to do things better, deeper, once you get really serious about it. Your website, of course, is your home online. A lot of people spend a lot of time on social media or having a great Facebook page or spending a lot of time on, other things that generate traffic, maybe doing a big lead show. But everyone that visits or finds you anywhere else in the world is next going to look at your website. So make sure that you have a great website that is, designed for your audience, that has great branding and colors, and that's inviting and shows people that you're serious about your business. And then, of course, marketing is all of the other things that you do. It's the advertising, it's the content that you're generating on social networks and platforms, it's the emails that you send or follow up, and of course, all of the other things that go out, whether it's, flyers or brochures, media, paid media, public relations, all of those things all are encompassed under really marketing. So anything that you're driving traffic to. There's a number of tools that we can use inside of that attract phase. My favorites are, the advertising tools, video production. YouTube is a free tool that you can use to publish content that you can share out to billions of people. Having a blog and connecting and sharing your stories does more than just sharing your stories. It actually helps show Google and therefore the rest of the world what you're all about and helps you rank. And then social media on the right programs and the right networks for you. Not a lot of manufacturing businesses are probably going to have a ton of throughput or benefit from things like Snapchat or TikTok, but I've seen some brilliant marketing campaigns that have gone out on TikTok that generally target the folks that are entering the workforce, that tend to be a little bit younger, looking for that job post high school and trying to connect up with folks that are in that space. So every tool has its own space, and you have to make sure that you're matchmaking between what those tools do and who they reach and what your business needs as far as a marketing goal. And then, of course, all that wraps up in strategy. So I want to talk about a few tools. And again, this is 16 tips and lead gen strategies that you may not have heard of that are going to generate results. So at the end of this presentation, I do have a single slide with all 16 that you can just screenshot. It includes all of the links to how to get there. So hang on with me, and you don't need to screenshot the entire way through or take notes, but these are going to be incredibly helpful. SEMrush has a free tool that you can use to really analyze your keywords and what you do inside of those keywords and how you're found online. So you can go into SEMrush or SEMrush and just enter in your business website, and then it'll scan and tell you what keywords you already rank for, like what Google is showing you or showing you as an authority on. And then you can figure out kind of what a good budget might be to reach a certain amount of people across a number of different networks. So Google, of course, is the big one. YouTube is probably the second largest search engine. We're seeing a ton of information and things being delivered on traffic via, large language models, LLMs, the Chat GPTs of the world, Gemini, all of that on Google. SEMrush will help you find the keywords to help you rank well across all of those search platforms. Google, of course, is responsible for probably 80% of all traffic on the entire web. So going to the tools that Google does give you, things like the Keyword Planner tool helps you figure out how many people are searching for specific words and phrases, where those people are, and what you can do to target them. You don't actually have to even spend money using the Keyword Planner to identify the size of an audience and figure out some market research on what works best for your business and the kinds of messages that are going to generate the most results. I do like Google Search Console. And again, you're going to have links to all of these later. And then SpyFu is a really fun kind of focused, hyper-focused pay-per-click advertising analyzer that offers recommendations on buys. And that's specifically, the timing and the keywords, phrases, and how impactful your ad is. Google does a pretty good job of that just inside of the Google Ads tool, but there's lots of really fun things that you can do inside of the pay-per-click analyzer in SpyFu. I should take a second to note that if you do have questions during today's event, you can feel free to just chat them via the meeting chat inside of Zoom. Or if you're watching this live afterwards, you can send me a note at dave@busyweb.com. That link is going to be available, I believe, in one of the next slides. I think I have it at every different section. So just send me notes if you have questions on any of this stuff. I did mention video, so video tools like YouTube. Of course, I mentioned just a second ago, YouTube is actually the second largest search engine in the world. Also owned by Google, YouTube is, but videos are one of those things, especially in manufacturing, where being able to show how a process or a tool or a tooling or a team works is incredibly effective. I like different lengths of YouTube videos. Trainings and things like what we're doing right now can be anywhere from a half hour to 45 minutes, or maybe even up to an hour, and still have great viewership. A lot of times you want to focus on shorter, smaller videos. If you see the timeline on a video and you're trying to see what your tool can do, if you don't have 15 minutes or if you don't have a full hour, being able to see a 5-minute or a 3-minute video is much more likely that you're actually going to click on it. Vidyard is a great way to easily embed videos inside of your emails. They have a fantastic and again, free tool that works seamlessly inside of tools like HubSpot or inside of your Outlook or any of those places where you can literally just record a quick screenshot or screen share and say, so excited to meet you and we'd love to connect with you. Here's a few things that we want you to know. And you can click on the link below and underneath my video and do the next thing, right? Katie says she used Vidyard to reply to tech support questions and show employees how to do something. So that's a brilliant use of that particular tool. And again, it's completely free You can pay for branded videos and to do like team videos where everyone can collaborate, but on a person-to-person basis, Vidyard is completely free and very, very fun and easy. And then another favorite of mine, SalesReach at salesreach.io, lets you create hyper-focused landing pages for your sales clients. So imagine you're putting together a presentation that has like several different links and a few PDFs and a proof sheet and or a brochure, and you want to embed a video inside of that and tell people, here's everything that you need to know about the deal that we've been talking about. You can do all that on one page in a few seconds with SalesReach. It's super, super fun. For content tools, HubSpot has a amazing amount of inbound marketing tools and sets. Starts at free. And so inside of all of the things that I'm talking about today, I'm trying to give you free options for digging deeper. But go to HubSpot.com and sign up and check out the content. There's Breeze AI assistants inside of here. So you can look and say, I want to know every business that has this particular tool on their website or that does this particular thing in a specific area. So I want to know every company that uses HubSpot in Milwaukee, and it'll give you a list of those companies right inside of the free Breeze Assistant. Grammarly makes sure that all of your content looks professional and can actually help you generate new content. HubSpot does that as well, by the way, where you can just literally say, all the way down from a blog post to an email, you just tell it kind of what you're trying to say, and AI will generate a very helpful, informative, professional bit of content, blog post, email, or ad that can help you generate that information and make it look professional. One caveat with all AI things, you do need to do a little bit of thinking you're on your own to edit that and make it your own afterward. And generally what I tell people is what you'll see out of AI generated content that hasn't had professional help is it kind of seems like the report the English report that your seventh grader might have done. If it is like, tell me about the American Revolution, whatever. And so an AI generated bit of content will just drone on and repeat itself over and over again, just like your seventh grader might if they're trying to fill out 2 full pages of content, right? So it brings things up. There's also things like hallucinations where AI just makes things up with complete confidence. And so it might say, Abraham Lincoln was the first person to cross the Delaware River on a hang glider. And, that's completely wrong in all facets, right? So, but it's going to say it with such certainty that you might be tempted to just look at it. So you need to check your work with any AI generated content. And then the Make My Persona tool is a great way to hyper focus and understand who you're trying to actually reach. So one of the ways that we like, and this is sometimes called a customer persona or a profile. Personas are really like fictionalized best customer overviews. So what kind of things do your customers tend to have in common? Because every bit of content, everything that you write and report on should almost be like a letter to that person. So you can say, Dear Rebecca or Dear Mary, and here's what we're trying to connect with you on. And if you know as much as possible about that person, it makes it super easy to deliver that content. There's also site tools that you can look at. Google has an optimize page. And again, link is at the end of today's event, but Google Optimize, you just type your website address in and it'll tell you, here are some things that you're probably missing. Your website's a little slow, or you don't have any calls to action on your homepage. And so people don't know what to do, or the site structure of your website is kind of confusing because there's way too many things on the homepage or something like that, right? And then Google Trends actually will tell you what people are searching for. And so if you want to capture the zeitgeist and kind of ride the lightning of attention and interest, you can do that by going to Google Trends and just say, enter in some keywords that people will probably be looking for you on. You can see if those keywords are trending up, trending down, and some other keywords that you might want to consider to use in content on your website. Google is not a magic making tool. It doesn't just generate links to your website out of thin air. It reviews your content and it plays matchmaker. If you have authoritative, helpful, interesting content on your website that matches the keywords that people are looking for, that's how you show up. So the ad or the activity of making sure that you have plenty of keyword matching traffic or content on your website is literally how you show up. All right, so that's part one. That's attract. Standard marketing stuff, right? Now let's begin to engage our audiences to help them solve problems, to show them that you really care and that you're interested in what you do and what you can do for them. Engage tools, again, we're going to go through these in a little bit more detail in the following slides, but looking at your leads, checking out email marketing, lead management through CRM, maybe even looking at some conversational bots so that when people visit your website, you can answer questions without them having to pick up the phone. Especially post-COVID, nobody likes talking to each other anymore. We just like to chat back and forth. So having a bot that can answer those questions, that actually reviews the content on your website and that drives people to the right place at the right time with minimal effort, can be a game changer for most businesses, especially in manufacturing, where we have very high specs and much detail that people want to get to immediately. And then things like marketing automation make sure that you're doing helpful and engaging follow-up. So let's talk about these. First, lead flows. This is kind of a real fun one. Lead forensics will actually tell you who is visiting your website, like literally who. A lot of times with website visits, you'll get the amount of clicks that people are visiting your website, maybe even kind of where they're from by generality. You can see like, okay, well, this many people from Minnesota, this many people from Chicago area, this many people from Wisconsin are visiting my website. But with lead forensics, if that person is known by those tools, and if they're not having like a blocker or using some sort of a randomizer site content, you can see who those people are. Like 17 people from US Bank visited my website last night. There must be something going on, right? So you can then connect up, maybe even look at who in your CRM is from that company that's visiting your website and give them a call and just say, hey, I noticed that someone from your organization was visiting the website. Is there something that we can do? Conversational bots, again, you can answer common questions. The example on this page is what happens when you visit busyweb.com, my website. But you can answer common questions. You can just load up frequently asked questions that you use or that you answer inside of your content. You can load up white papers and details or tech specs for your business, and then people can chat in and you can just give them the results and it links them to that part of the website after they ask those questions. This is also built into HubSpot with the Breeze Copilot, and there's all kinds of really neat things that you can do inside of that. So the chat bots, the content, all of it's free as well. So, if you just go to like ChatGPT, you can get answers on some of this stuff, but the difference is that the Breeze content actually goes from what your business has loaded into its website or what you have as far as an actual bit of knowledge or information. Marketing automation, you can build custom workflows and content to deepen relationships, that you can build sequences to almost make it like choose your own adventure marketing, so that if people open something, you can give them the option to, okay, well, now do you want to do this? And a lot of these tools are getting smart enough now to know, based on the workflow or the flow that people have done before this, they visited your homepage, they checked out your About Us page, and now they're reviewing through your products. That probably means that they want something related to the products, or they might have information about how to work with you. So you can automate that. And then one of the favorite new tools that's launched just in the past couple of months, inside of HubSpot, you can do what's called Content Remix. You create a post on your blog or a page, a landing page on your website. With one button, you hit Content Remix, and then it will remix all of that information to create an ad on Google automatically, to do social media posts across Instagram, LinkedIn, X, maybe even Snapchat. And you can do other landing pages or other content, or maybe even generate another blog post based on that content. So it helps you work smarter, not harder, and get you where you want to go. And now finally, we're at delight. So inside of the delight tools inside of your business, you want to keep your customers, help deepen relationships with your customers, and explore additional options to do more with them, and grow your company by offering your best cheerleaders, your existing customers, the ability to share, right? So word of mouth is very magical inside of marketing, and then you can connect and grow. Delighting tools include smart content, email marketing, the conversations inbox, attribute reporting, and again, some straight up marketing automation to do some refresh or thoughtful outreach. So let's go through those. First, inside of smart content, you can deliver specific things. So this is a screenshot again from Google. So the things are from HubSpot. So the things that you can do inside of here, inside of templates for smart content, whether it's welcoming new people that have subscribed to your website or interacted with you for the first time, getting customer feedback. So doing some thoughtful follow-up, maybe a week after or a month after or even 6 months after your last deal with someone, just checking in with them to say, how's it going? Is there anything else we can do? Was there anything that we could improve in our processes? Anniversaries can be fun, can get a little creepy. So you want to be careful with this. It's like, it's been 17 days since you last connected with us. Thank you very much, Mary. That's a little creepy, right? But saying, thank you so much. In the past year, we've worked together and we've enjoyed working with you so much. We'd like to send you this small token of our appreciation or whatever. You can automate all of that. And so you can do that by different personas, by different business lists, by connections. There's all kinds of different ways that you can grow that. And then generating customer feedback. You can do that inside of HubSpot's Service Hub. Again, I'm like a little bit of a broken record because all of this stuff is doable inside of HubSpot, but there's all kinds of other tools, including Poll Everywhere. So this is a really fun one where you can literally, if you're at a conference, you can just post a little QR code and you can actually ask questions live. I should have probably done that on this one, on this event, and just seen like what people are most interested in, but it's literally an SMS tool where people just snap a QR code, they text 1, 2, or 3 into this, and then you can see live what people are interested in. So, building that out. Or Typeform offers super interesting kind of drop-down enabled forms, so you can drill deeper and ask much better questions without overwhelming people. If you offer like different splits inside of your content, so if someone answers yes or no, they go down a different track. Instead of having to ask 17 different questions, you can get away with what looks to the customer or the visitor like 5-question survey, because they're leading themselves down a list and you're only asking them questions related to what they really do. And then finally, optimizing for the buyer's journey. So I want to share a few more tips and tricks on how all of these things can work across all of our audiences to maintain relationships. As we look at this again, remember the buyer's journey should be relatively simple and straightforward. You would think you're going through, you're attracting, and then you convert a customer into a lead, and then you close them into a customer, and then you delight them, and then they keep coming back for more, right? In reality, it's much, much more complicated. People are visiting your blog, and then they're going to your pricing page, and then they go back to your website and they check out a testimonial. Maybe they get a customer report or a support call. They happen to talk to a friend or someone else in their network, and then they come on back, right? So keeping track of all of this is why you need a CRM, and you actually need to track and think about how you interact with people at each stage of the buyer's journey. So this might be one that would be fun to screenshot and answer these questions. So in the attract phase, answer the question, I provide value to my customers by, and then answer for yourself. So in our case, it's probably answering marketing questions or providing tips and tricks or helpful ways to grow and generate new business. Under the engage stage, I make it easy for prospects to engage or communicate with me. And then how is that? What are you doing with them? Again, in our case, offering easy ways to connect, simplifying our onboarding process, reassuring them at every step in the process that we have their backs, that here's more information that we know about them and how we can help them. And then straight into delighting customers once they are connected and converted into a customer, always adding value. Here's a customer only event or a customer only preview, solving specific problems, anticipating issues, doing those Q&As or the feedback and follow-up, and simply giving them a call once in a while and saying, how are things doing and how can we help? So there's 5 steps in this nurturing process that I like to do. And then I'm going to walk through these in turn, but I want to also kind of offer a few additional tools that can help with each of these as well. So, as we look through this, whether you're setting goals and making your goals smart and helping generate real traffic, and then going into personas, content, timelines, and measuring to making sure that you're actually doing all of those things, you can build all of that. So let's go through it. First, SMART goals. A lot of times people, especially in marketing, they're just like, I want to rank better on Google. Well, great. If you go from position 770 to 760, you've improved. Will anybody see your content? No, right? I want 1 million new visits to my website. Well, if somebody spams you and if you wind up getting a DDoS attack, you're going to get a million visitors to your website. All that's going to do is crash your dang website, right? So it's not helpful, really. So you need to do something or set goals inside of your marketing that directly relate to your lead nurturing activities. So I want to set an appointment or visit within 3 interactions is a great one. Or I want to generate 10% more leads to our website from our visits. Or I want to connect within 5 days of my first contact with that customer. Those are the things that really matter to helping you close more deals. So that's the SMART goals that you want to set. And SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. And it's the difference, again, between I want more customers to I want 15 new leads from my website every week by the end of this quarter. Personas. We've talked about personas. You can go to makemypersona.com to generate one for yourself. This is knowing your customers so well that everything that you generate and that you write is almost like a love letter to them, right? So knowing what your customer types are. Are they new customers? Are they returning customers? Are they industrial? Are they, different stages or members or personalities inside of a business? The purchasing department or the marketing department of a business is generally much different than the engineering department. And you might be working mostly with engineers if you're delivering a specific product or widget. They're more interested in tolerances and details. The C-suite, the executives in your company, are probably more interested in ROI and quality issues. So what is that and how are they looking? Content, again, you want to make sure that everything that you write is as helpful as possible for your intended audiences. You probably have at least 2 or 3 different key audiences. Making sure that that content helps them answer their questions and their needs is going to help give them what they need. That all hinges on having fantastic calls to action. That's a marketing nerd speak word, but what it means is a button or an easy to spot way for them to do what's next. Your website, your marketing isn't Where's Waldo. If people have to hunt all over your website to find the next step, or if you're advertising and then there's 17 links on that homepage that you're advertising for, you're going to get almost no results. You have to make it crystal clear what you're expecting people to do and what they're going to get when they do what you want them to do. So your button shouldn't say click here. It should be download the white paper, right? Your button shouldn't be contact us. It should be get help today. So giving them more detail and more information is what you really need to focus on. Timelines. So knowing inside of your marketing automation, inside of your lead nurturing process, when to follow up, is incredibly important. So generally, when people fill out a form or complete a conversion on your website, they expect something to happen almost immediately, right? If I download a white paper, I want the dang white paper right now. But sometimes you want to have a follow-up a few days or a few weeks after that just to make sure. And so if you know that they've downloaded, they've gotten this spec sheet, that 9 times out of 10, they also call later and ask for specific things like maybe timelines or quality assurance, or how the project is going to work. You're going to send them a note a couple days, a couple of weeks after that, and simply answer those questions for them, or say, here's a video on how this works, or here's how the next step is going to work or go. And then measuring. If you're not measuring, you're not marketing. So make sure that you do set a line in the sand and make sure that you're simply improving or going in the right direction. And if you're not going in the right direction, all's not lost. That just means that you need to either get more specific in your audience and what they're looking for, or that you need to match better between the promise of what you're offering and what you're actually delivering. So as you look at these content bits, sometimes you want to focus and just in a general rule, look at what the most beneficial and effective marketing is and double down on that, instead of saying, okay, well, it looks like we're doing great on blogs, we're doing great on video, but our advertising is just awful. So I really want to focus 100% on that one thing that's not working. Maybe it makes more sense to double down on the things that are working. You're going to get better results because maybe your audience just doesn't react to ads, or they don't like Googling for things, and they instead look at referrals and connections. So look first at the things that are working best and do more. And then adapting and improving is going to be incredibly important and helpful. So making sure that you look at your reports, how many visitors are you getting? If you set those SMART goals, this is much easier. But you said that you wanted 10% more leads over each month by the end of the quarter. By the end of the quarter, did that happen? You have to set a baseline if you're going to know that, right? So if you have 300 leads that you're getting per month and you want 330, like a 10% lift, did you hit it? Hopefully you blew it out of the water. If you didn't, what happened? You can look at the different results and responses. It also helps you to prove ROI. We spent $100,000 over the past year to generate these 200 leads, which generated $100 million in revenue for our company. Great. That works. You can say, okay, well, this is a good ROI. In marketing, the general rule of thumb is for incremental revenue, you should probably try to earmark about 10% of what that revenue would be. So I want to grow by $1 million next year in my business. You should be earmarking about $100,000 for marketing to get that extra $1 million. So that's why you work with a great partner, with a great company. We can absolutely help with that, of course, if you want to talk through or building something. None of these tools, like everything that I listed today and that I'm going to talk through. And by the way, here's all of those links. So if you want to screenshot one page, this is a great one. This is the actual links to all of these content pieces. I think, and Rebecca mentioned that Google Optimize was sunset. I think you're right. And I just completely blew by that because I was looking at it and it's just always top of my head. And I have 5 favorite tools. I think the optimization tool has been folded into Google Search Console. So
I
what
also
you do
think,
inside of that.
sorry to interrupt you, Dave,
Yeah, please.
but I was looking for it online and I think it's under the Google Marketing Platform now.
Mhm.
So if you go to, if you actually go to marketingplatform.google.com, you can sign in there.
Beautiful. Yep.
Yeah.
So much fun. And the great part about Google is they make all this stuff easy to find. There's usually super short codes. So like Google Trends, g.co/trends get you to that spot. All of these things are super easy and super helpful. One thing that I do think everyone should check out at least a little bit, even if you don't need or want an additional CRM for your business, HubSpot.com has so many amazing tools that are available for free. And especially like if you're just trying to spin up a new product or a new service and you want to give something a shot, but you don't want to dedicate a ton of marketing dollars, you can create an entirely new free website at HubSpot.com. There is no reason for any business, any manufacturing business to suffer through Wix or Weebly or any of that silly stuff, as you can have an entire CRM with a like 10-page website for free at yourbusiness.com. You just have to pay for the domain. So, of course, there are paid versions. Some of the paid versions of HubSpot, it's Starter Suite, which includes some automation and customization and a 30-page website with unlimited blogs. That's $180 a year. It's $15 a month. So you can do all of this for not a huge investment. Finally, I have a couple of things that I'd love to invite you to in the next few weeks. In 2 weeks, we've got November 6th is Ask the Expert at BusyWeb, Marketing Strategy, How to Set Trends, Planning, and Budgeting. And then I also have Digital Trends for 2025 coming up on December 4th. Keep your eyes, of course, on Industry Select and RTI because there's lots and lots of stuff coming up, because we are going to continue our partnership into 2025 with the team as well. And Katie and folks, I'm so thankful for the ability to connect with you all and do these things. I mentioned here's how to get a hold of all of our stuff and how to get a hold of me. You shoot me a note at dave@busyweb.com if you're watching this afterwards and you do have a question. I'd love to help.